Okay, welcome once again. This is TSDN Africa, TSDN Ghana, TSDN Nigeria for you. And today we are discussing the topic, should high school students in West Africa specifically be allowed to use their smartphones and laptops in school? And we have Nava, who has been joining us since we started this your talk show, Lord Appear To, and today we have Yawasamwa, popularly known as Wofadino, and Mr. Sunny among us, who is Yawasamwa is Ghana and Sunny is from Nigeria. So we will start with Hubert. How is it in France in a minute?
Sorry, I didn't hear you well.
COVID. Okay, I said COVID-19. COVID-19, how is it in France so far?
So far so good. We had good news today because the lockdown ban was lifted, and we, as stated by the government, it's a progressive deconfinement, such that activities will go step by step, won't bounce back just at once like this because of the risk of the virus starting to spread all over again. So it was just today activities came back to normal. Some offices have started working, and they have put in place measures, social distancing measures, and for instance, for the public transport and the public places, it's mandatory to be wearing a nose mask in order not to get exposed or contaminate in case you are infected with the virus. So apart from that, there's also great improvements when it comes to the admissions. The number of people being admitted has drastically reduced as compared to the number of that was there before, and the numbers that are getting out of the hospital, it means that the recovery rate is also really significant. And for the death rates, we just have to accept that as far as the virus is still propagating and is still in the system, it will definitely take away some lives. But we are doing our best, as said by the Ministry of Health, to be able to still keep the numbers down, because at first we used to be recording over 2,000 within 24 hours, but now I think we are in the hundreds. I mean, 300, 400s, and I think it's getting better with time. We'll deconfine, and as in general, some zones have turned to green zones, which is a good sign. And for instance, my side, I'm in Orléans at the moment, in the central region of France, and we have moved to the green zone, which is a good news for me. But just as I said earlier, we are still conscious of the fact that the virus is not yet defeated. It's still in the system, so we are doing our best to be able to stay safe. And I think that's how far we have gone.
Okay, now let's go to Oh, thank you very much, Hubert. Now, Lord, in some few minutes, how is it in Canada so far?
Okay, so let me greet everyone who is watching us now. So here things haven't changed so much. We are not locked down since this pandemic started. Our cases are increasing too. So we are just hoping that we are at our peak now. And one good news is that the shops and schools will open and resume on 19th May, which is a good news. So we are just waiting to see how things will go so people can start working too. So far, so good.
Yes, the economy needs to revamp again. So, Wafadido, I mean, in Ghana, Ghana, how far?
Yeah, Ghana, I don't know if I'm to say so far so good. Currently, we have about 4,263 cases with 378 recovered and 22 death cases. So they are still testing. So we are not yet at our peak. So I can't say it's a good sign, but it's a good sign at least a number of people are recovering. Like 378 is a good sign. But as they are still testing, cases will definitely go up. And that is the case for Ghana now.
Okay, now let's hear from Sunny. Sunny, how far are you with Nigeria COVID-19 issue? Yes, Sunny, can you hear me?
Sunny,
Okay,
I think
Sunny,
your audio is muted here.
yes,
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yes, we can.
Okay, I said the index case with COVID-19 in Nigeria has been increasing every day. As I'm talking to you now, we have about 103 death cases so far in Nigeria. We have about 4,000 confirmed cases. So as I'm talking to you, the COVID-19 issue, the pandemic is really something else. And we have observed a lot of restriction presently in Nigeria. As a Red Cross worker, I work with the Lagos State government and WHO on contact tracing. So, but what I'm observing is that this thing has to really, the government really needs to do a lot in terms of communication. What I mean communication is that because the contact tracing has gotten to community based, whereby the people in the community don't believe that they don't even believe what they call COVID-19, talk less of even getting to even test themselves. There's a particular state in Nigeria, you understand, they have 0 cases of COVID-19, which means that they've not done any tests. And if you don't test people, how will you know that these people are having these symptoms and all that? So the issue in Africa is that I've observed that even the index cases, like in Nigeria, have over 200 million citizens, and they've only tested 10,000 people. So how do you expect that if you test 10,000 people and you expect that the whole issue boils out to politics? Because you cannot tell me that even Lassa fever kills more than COVID-19. Malaria kills more than COVID-19. Just that the data they are giving us out. If they should roll out the same data with malaria, you'll be surprised. Just in Kano, some few weeks ago, we uncovered as in imaginary deaths of people. Almost like 100 people died in a day, just in Kano. So what I'm saying is that this whole thing of COVID-19 is really turning out to be something else. Although as a health worker, to be honest with you, these symptoms and this disease is real. This COVID-19 is an infectious disease. And as I'm talking to you, infectious disease that have so many symptoms, just that this one has to do with respiratory symptoms and all that. So what I'm just saying is that this whole COVID-19, I hope one day, maybe by the end of this year, we'll be able to say thank God at the end of it.
Yes, we'll be able to say thank God. And I want to tell our viewers that Sunny is actually a frontline worker. He works with the Red Ross, as he was saying, and he's also working in line with the UN too. Now, to today's topic, which is very crucial, unlike the Western countries that probably, I don't know whether it's a cliche or not that we've been hearing, when it comes to West Africa, students are not allowed to use their phones and even laptops in school. Ghana recently, I heard that in Fantiman girls, they said their students can bring in laptops. I want to find out from Ofadino, is it the case that now Ghana, some schools are allowed the students to start using phones and laptops?
Yeah, I think to every situation, one needs to adjust. And since this COVID-19 thing started, there has been changes over this short period. And so at first, if we were not allowed to use laptops in schools, GHS level or SHS level, this COVID-19 has opened a new dimension for us as Ghanaians to think differently. That at first we had this notion that if you give a Ghanaian child a laptop or a phone to use in school, he or she might end up not using it for educational purpose. But this COVID-19 has opened our mind to see that if we give the students good guidance, we explain things to the students very well, they will know the purpose and the uses of these laptops and mobile phones that we have with us. And so I think it's a good step for us to catch up with the Western world. We can't be in our corner and always try to like live in antiquity. You get what I mean? We must catch up with the world. And as the world is moving, as we keep on saying, we are now living in the world of technology. So once we are living in technology, how do you expect to live in technology and not use technology? It's not possible. So the introduction of laptops and phones in school, I think is a good step. Just that measures should be put in place for students to be conscious of how to use these gadgets. That's what I think.
Okay. So let's move from Ghana straight to Nigeria and find out too before we go to the Western world. So Sunny, if you can hear me, how is it so far as Nigeria? How are people adjusting to the use of smartphones, which was not at first allowed to be used in the high schools? That's both the junior high school and the senior high school and the primary schools. How is it so far in Nigeria now? So if you can unmute yourself, Mr. Sunny, and speak. So Sunny, we can hear you. Unmute yourself before you can talk.
Sorry, I've been trying to make sure I'm on this interview. Just one or two talks probably. So power issues are always a big issue when it comes to Africa. So what I'm saying is that on a very good day, smartphones should be allowed in schools, especially in Africa. Africa have come of age. So many things we have to do on the internet which requires you to be on the smartphone. It's even advisable that every household should have a smartphone. Everything you learn today are on smartphone. Windows are on smartphone. Banking, online, everything on smartphone. The technology we use today on smartphone. It's easier for you to communicate with people even around you on smartphone. So most even the percentage of students that are using smartphone in Nigeria, they are more than 50. Most youth are on smartphones. I have met young students, young Nigerians. You understand? I was really encouraged when I saw these young people. You know, gone are those days when you say you meet a young Nigerians and you'll be inspired, want to become maybe a millionaire by even in fraudulent acts and all that. But you see young Nigerians today of smartphone, or the use of smartphone and the importance of smartphone. You see them, they are young people, they are young Nigerians, educating themselves with smartphones, doing online training and all that, trying to make impact to the world. I've met a couple of people trying to use the advancement of smartphone to educate themselves and to become useful to that community and country. So I'm saying is that the use of smartphone is something even the government cannot regulate. It's not something you can regulate, especially in Africa. The world itself involves around technology. COVID-19 today, if not for the help of technology and smartphone, I'm telling you, most people don't have information about what's happening around. With the help of your fingertip, just a touch, you'll be able to access anything that's happening around.
Okay. I think Sunny's network is not helping him to get us. Okay, Sunny's network has paused, but while Sunny's network is trying to recover, let's hear from Hubert. Now, Nava, so we've listened to Nigeria and Ghana, and where they are actually saying that it's very good that we start using these. We've not yet discussed, but they are saying that people are using these smartphones and laptops to learn now. So how far with it in France? Was it in place already? Because we've been in Africa and we are always hearing that these Western worlds are using, they allow their students to use phones and laptops in school. So our students too are supposed to be allowed to use these gadgets. Is it true that the students use these gadgets in school?
Never. Yeah, thank you for the question. For someone like me who comes from Africa, it's a new ball game for me. Just as it was said by Wafayao about the state in Ghana, for those of us in France, it has really been a tough time, but it wasn't in place. For instance, the lectures and things and other stuff, when it comes to the taking of notes and those stuff, it's done mostly with computers. Some of our exams, our quizzes are taken on computers. So it wasn't the case for me in Ghana. So adjusting and adapting to this kind of system has really been challenging. But I've seen that with time, it makes sense to be using such things in class. But I won't go into the details because I'm sure we'll get to a place where we'll see the advantages and disadvantages. But all I can say about it is that, yeah, it's something that has been there. The natives have been using computers and phones from their high schools and the likes. But the thing, the difference is that even at the university level, to be specific with phones, it's mostly prohibited in class. But you can have your phone in class. You can be looking at it once a while, but you can't be using it regularly because I remember there was an instance in class where the lecturer got bored and was about asking someone to kindly leave the class if the person wants to use the phone. So you can see that this value in Africa is also adapted here. But when it's a computer, we all have our computers in front of us. Whatever we are doing, the lecturer doesn't know. For me, just to be noticed small, sometimes my WhatsApp is connected to my computer. So if I want to send messages, you see, they don't care whether it's your computer because they think or they might believe that you are taking notes or you are searching for references on the internet. So it can be in line with the course. But then as in using your phone, they think that it's just for messages, chatting with friends and things. So it's a bit problematic when it comes to the use of these things. So in summary, I would say that the phone is not really encouraged, but the computer, of course.
Okay, what about Lord? You to how far is it in Canada as a Ghanaian student in Canada? What have you seen? Is it encouraged or not?
Yes, I think it's the same thing as Nava said. It's encouraged. So your cell phone, you can use it on campus, okay? But Ghana, you cannot use your cell phone on campus. It's prohibited. You cannot use it on campus. But here, you can use it on campus. But during learning time, you are not allowed to use your phone because they tend to believe that it can interrupt you a lot. So you can use your computer, okay, your laptops. They use their laptop a lot because I think that's where they save their notes on iCloud, on Google Drive, and those. I think I had a class in first semester. I was the only person who was using the traditional method, writing notes, because I was not used to. I was the only person writing notes. So sometimes it gets. I think they see me in a weird way because I'll be busy writing everything, and they'll be tapping, their notes and taking remarks and everything. So it's encouraged here, but even in the university, you are not allowed to use phone during learning time, like during lectures. But if you want to use your phone, what you do is that before class starts, you let the professor know that due to certain reason, I will use my phone rather than using my laptop. Then the professor will let you use your smartphone. But in the case where you have your laptop and you want to use your smartphone, it doesn't work that way. So it's much encouraged here. They know the use of it, so they use it.
So we've come to understand that it's actually, unlike Nigeria and Ghana, where students are not allowed to send their phones on campus, that's those in the senior high, junior, and the primary school, the Western world actually allowed their students to send it there. Now let us find out the positive impact should this COVID-19 end. Will there be any change in Ghana and Nigeria?
Is that a question to me?
So smartphones.
Is it my question? Because the line, there was a break.
It's a question. Yes, it's a question. Should this COVID-19 stop? Well, it will stop by all means, and students resuming on campus. Should they allow them to start using their smartphones and laptops, as Lord and Nava are saying that they are doing it, but there are some regulations that they follow? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think once this thing has been introduced, it has come to stay. The use of laptops in class and phones, as my brothers in Europe are saying, it has come to stay. However, as I stated earlier on, measures should be put in place. Okay, anything that we have, it can be positive or negative. But if we put measures in place to check these things, I think it will be geared towards the positive side. So students should be allowed to use their laptops in class. And as they are using their laptops in class, the school must make sure that they have accessibility to Wi-Fi and those things, because our parts of this world where our network system is not that stable. So if these things are going to be provided, then I think students should be allowed to use the laptops in schools, in class, and when they are supposed to use phones, just as law stated, they are to seek permission before that due to these reasons, I wouldn't be able to use my laptop, but I'm going to use my phone. And I think that will help. And it will even help the student to be faster in learning. Because as I stated, you can't live in a technological world and not be able to use technology. It does not sound right. So I think it should be it should be allowed to use in schools. Yeah.
So let me come to Sunny. Sunny, if you are here, well, if you can turn on your mic. Nigeria.
Okay.
So Nigeria as And so Nigeria, as you were saying that Nigeria, well, people too are adapting to it. They are adapting it now. And
Okay.
Mr. Sunny, as you heard from Yawasamuwa Fadino saying that it has come to stay. So in Nigeria too, has it come to stay in your various schools?
In Nigeria, it has come to stay in some particular school, which are private school. In Nigeria, we have private school. As in the private school, the private school is different from the public school. And I know it's also the same thing in Ghana. The private school is where people pay high school fees. The private school here is where people pay high tuition for their pupils and all that. So the private school encourage laptop, smartphones, and all that. But they know that for you to be able to get additional education, you need to be able to get through all those things, because like laptop, smartphone, through as in global network, through like internet and all those things, you can be able to do research easier and all that. So the public school, they do not kind of encourage the smartphone and the laptop. You understand? But they do not encourage laptop and smartphone. Most public schools in Nigeria, except for the big public school. We have one called the big public. These are schools that have existed, like maybe let me say like 70 years ago, which like most of all these people in politics, like governors and all, maybe senators, which they introduce our big schools, have solid foundation for leaders. So those schools encourage laptop because they know that without internet, education is a global. Even their curriculum in Nigeria, most of all this curriculum today, they are being adopted from the internet. You understand? The curriculum Nigeria uses might be different from the curriculum in Ghana, but there is a similarity. All these things are from internet, they are research. So for you cannot say like private schools, most private schools have internet facility and all that, but you have to pay high fees for you to be there, maybe as a student and all that. So the encouragement for maybe students to use laptop, I see no reason why this thing can be controlled, because students can, as in they can overuse their advantage. Even as a student, if you have an advantage to be able to have an advantage, you have a bus that will take you to school. It's an advantage. It can also be misused. There is anything that's an advantage can be misused. So, but there should be a kind of regulation around it. If they want to introduce laptop and maybe smartphone to school, there should be a regulation. Because students can use. Because I also work for that. Some years ago, I worked for Global Education Collaboration, which is Beluga. Beluga into Global Education Collaboration, the network classrooms all over the world. They share classroom experience. Whereby if I'm in Ghana now, as a student, I can be able to share my classroom experience with students in Nigeria. I can be able to share my culture, my learning environment, and all that, which we encourage other schools to be able to meet up to national standard of education, which is quality education for all. So what I'm saying is that people have started adopting, but the funding to be able for everyone to have access to either laptop or smartphone is not something. Because Africa is like, it's not something that even the African leader want to talk about. That's just the issue present. So it's just like a misfeeling whereby if you say school A is using laptop, school B is not allowed to use laptop. So what that means is that school A have an advantage. They have that learning advantage, and they are making use of that learning advantage. School B now, you have a choice. Maybe if you get home, you might want to use your smartphone or that, but you cannot use this at the school premises. And using that smartphone at the school premises is not about you using it on your own. That should be from the directive from maybe your head teacher and all that, using it in the class. That's just the main issue in Africa.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sunny. So we've heard from Ghana and Nigeria. Now we want to find out the advantage and disadvantages of this introduction of these things in Ghana and Nigeria, let me say in Africa precisely. But Nava, when you were talking, you said something. You said that when you are in class, instead of you using your laptop to study, you end up being on WhatsApp. So is it an advantage or disadvantage to allow in classroom?
Well, as I said, the laptop, talking about the laptop, it's a study tool. As they will put it rightly here, they will say outil d'apprentissage. So if it's helping in learning, why not using it? So I'm sure before allowing this use, this is not a decision that is recent. It has been in the system for years now. So I'm sure before implementing it, they weighed the pros and cons of the thing, the advantages and disadvantages, to see which one would help. So I'm sure they realized that the phone isn't going to help, because the phone normally, because it's not like in Ghana where messages, you need to pay for messages. Here, the messages are part of the monthly subscription. So you have free messages. So people chat on messages even more than WhatsApp, right? So the lecturers, I'm sure, are aware that the messages and other things on the phone can distract. But as I was saying, students are always smart, just as like I've been smart in class. My everything on the phone is connected to my computer. So even if I want to go on WhatsApp, I can go on WhatsApp on my computer. I can go on Facebook. And you see, from our sitting perspective, we can see those sitting in front of us. We can see their screens and all, right? So the lecturer is facing us. He doesn't know what is going on our computers. So you can be there and you see people are Facebooking, people are on different Google, YouTube. I have two friends, white friends. All they do is to watch football in class. When the lecturer is lecturing, all they do is to watch football. And who does that? So they will be watching. I remember one day, one of the lecturers caught them, and then the lecturer smiled and said they think they are smart, but she knows what they are doing, but she's not going to mind them. So at the end of the lecture, there was, normally we will ask someone to summarize all that we have seen, and she called one of them to come and summarize. But amazingly, the boy was able to summarize and give details of what we did. I was like, so this boy, he was following and was watching football. How is his mind working? So we have different, on this point, I want to say we have different kind of me when I'm in class. It's either I'm on WhatsApp or I'm with the lecturer. Normally, what I'll do is that I'll just listen to the lecturer, and whatever he's talking about, I'll just take notes, so that in case I'm doing something else and I don't get it, I know what he was talking about and I can do research on my own. Right? But the abuse of it, just as we are saying, is what is not good. Because for me, I'm reading masters, right? So I may know what is relevant for me and what is not relevant. In fact, the motivation behind the reason why people in class or on Facebook, they have been complaining about this masters we are doing, that they feel that the masters is not what we saw on the internet for us to apply, but we came and they are teaching us some other things that are not relevant to us. So at the degree level, or maybe the high school level, the students might, I'm using the word might, or may not know what is relevant or not. So I think that is where the student needs concentration and other things, because when you are matured, you are able to, I stand to be corrected anyway, but you are able to determine what is relevant to your own career. That's why when we are applying for the schools, they will ask you to write your journey and then what you are envisaging in the near future, what you want to achieve by reading this masters. So when you come to understand these things, the laptop and the using of the phone in class may just be an advantage to because I remember the lecturer would just say something and you ask who has ever heard such a word, and you see almost everyone will bounce on the laptop on the internet and everything will come and they will start discussing. Imagine if we don't have access to such things. Have you heard about it? And we'll look at you like this and we want you to pour everything. But when you read on your own and you try to explain to the class so it has advantages and disadvantages, but I would see the advantages to be more than, because as a matter of fact, it wouldn't have been included in the education cycle or process. And for it, because after implementing it, I'm sure they've had reviews and things about it to see how good or bad the implementation is going with them.
Okay. So, well, Nava, we hope that your lecturers, they don't see these videos so that they know what you have been doing in class. What about Pia Lord?
Okay, so Nava, I believe the world is, of Adino said, the world is changing, and some of the laws and rules in the school should also change to suit the modern system that we have now. Laptops with internet, smartphones with internet serve as a better platform to save notes, in high school. So have you thought of a student maybe who has his or her notes stolen during exams time? This student whose notes has been stolen will have a particular way he or she writes the note. So it will be difficult for such a person to get someone else's notes. So such a student may fail due to the traditional way of copying notes and saving notes in the trunk and in chop box. So should such a student fail? No, I think he or she shouldn't, if there is a technological way of saving notes online, on iCloud, on Google Drive. So laptop and smartphone in secondary school are equally important as we use phones and laptop in the university. And also, I remember during secondary school, I was taught how to use Excel, and I completed high school forgetting all this precious information which I learned, and I passed the exams too. So because it was because in our ICT lab, it wasn't too big for a class of 70 students. So when we go, about 6 or more students use the same laptop. Can you imagine? So what can you really learn from as a class? So if you are able to learn something, if you are determined and you're able to learn something, the next ICT class will be in a week. So you have to wait for a week, to practice whatever you learn. And this doesn't help at all. So allowing students to use maybe programmized smartphone will help them, or laptop will help them to practice things like this. When they learn in the class, they will have the chance to practice what they learn. And I think it's a good way. And I believe in a way it can also prepare students for e-commerce purposes, especially business students, and it can be taught as a social studies subject. School can use this online marketing as they can include them in their course. We have schools that teach robotics. We have schools that teach, basketball and all that, and end up not playing them, not using them. But majority of us finish school and we go into businesses. We all do businesses one way or the other. We hear people say media me go school na business pan and me po. People used to be business used to be something during school people used to like. People will be going to school and still be doing business. So why don't we bring something that will help such people? Yeah. So I personally think that we are too accustomed to the traditional way of doing things. And I think using smartphones and laptop in school will serve as a good platform for students who will have who one day decide to do business, the entrepreneurs and all that. So I think it's a good point. And we have, negative. I think negatives are also very much because students will be distracted, as Nava was saying. You'll be in school and you'll be on WhatsApp, you'll be watching videos, and there are a lot of interesting stuff on the internet. So students could be easily be distracted. Instead of a student to wake up at dawn, imagine to learn, he or she will wake up and be watching pornographic, videos. And we shouldn't forget that these are people who are at their adolescent age, and so anything of this source is very possible to them. They can watch, because they are young, and these things easily capture their attention. So I also think we live in a world that students record everything that goes on. Everything right now, everything, not even students, everybody film everything that goes on. So you'll be surprised, every negative thing that will happen in school or on the campus will be filmed and uploaded on social media. And it will worry a lot of students, where we can have maybe happy slapping trend, proposal rejected trend, all these things, and people will make mistakes. They are young guys in high schools, they can make mistakes, and these mistakes can live with them forever because of these smartphones. And I think one thing is also that it helps students to cheat a lot. Can you imagine someone smuggle his smartphone into the examination room? Can you imagine things he can do? Can do a lot of things. So I believe even the schools have reserve phones where students can use it. I was teaching, and students will come to you, say, please, can I get your phone to call my mom, my dad? So we have phones for them to make these calls. So why then should we give them phones to use? So we do that. And it's one last thing I would say about this negative thing is that it increased because even without these flashy smartphones and laptops, people are still stealing gari, sugar, shirts, uniforms, common things we have. People are still stealing them. So imagine people who bring flashy stuff to school. People bring Apple laptop, iPhones, the latest ones, and all that. So it will increase theft. So I think phones, if they should be used, they should be programmed. Program smartphones, program laptop, where you are limited to use some certain apps and certain websites. I think that one will be better. But giving them phone without, limiting them will be disastrous. That's what I believe.
Okay, thank you very much. But what you are saying, what all of you have said is very true.
Yeah.
And I think one last thing that I will put to Fadino. Fadino, from what you heard from Nava and Lord, means that it's good that we use them, and Lord and Nava too have stated some disadvantages of this smartphone. But Lord made mention of something about like watching of pornographic and also taking videos of everything which will be happening, which you and we are aware of the things that have been happening in Ghana. Some schools where students were dancing, and some were even giving advice on how to abort. You get it? Mm-hmm. They used the smartphone that they had. So do you think that after this COVID-19, yes, you said that it has come to stay. The use of these smartphones have come to stay. For laptops, I think we all agree that it will be best we use the laptops. That one, the disadvantages, I think, are very low. But where the students can be recording everything and in their rooms be watching whoever knows pornographics and other stuff, be allowed, even if it's regulated.
One thing is, no matter what we do, that negative aspect will always be there. Okay, so just as I stated earlier on, I'll reinstate this again, that measures should be put in place. You just made mention of the girls giving advice to how to abort children, how to have like sex and stuff. The question is, when this video came out, what did the teachers do to them? Okay, if such a video comes out and measures are there to punish such a student, no one will ever dare to even record himself and bring something of that sort out, all in the name of trending.
Amnesty International was there to support these children. Oh.
He said?
Amnesty International was there to support these children. There were NGOs. Let me put Amnesty, but there were NGOs to support these children. That is their right. So the school has no right to punish these students of what they've done. So what about that?
So you see, once you are under an institution, you are bound by their laws. Okay, so these are the laws that we have. If you violate the laws, you should be impeached. You should be punished. So if there are laws that, just as you go to school, they give you handbook, and this handbook contains the laws of the schools. That if you break bans, you go for infinite suspension. If you insult a lecturer, maybe you're going to read for 2 weeks. We have these laws written down in the handbooks of the schools. And so if we are introducing these phones and laptops on campuses, we are supposed to have laws to govern these things as well. That if a friend does something and you video and it goes viral and we trace and we get to know that you are the one who did it, this is the penalty that you are going to face. And definitely, if these measures are put in place, I don't think that things will get out of hand. Definitely, there will be cases that definitely things are going to happen. But if we have those things in place, we will be able to regulate them, put them in place. In Europe, where my brothers are, young guys are allowed to use phones and stuff, but do you see any videos of that? I stand to be corrected. I'm not there, so I can't like talk much, but the level of leakages of movies, of videos, and students recording students and posting it on the social media, is it that high over there as we compare to Africa? I can say here is much, much higher than that place. It's because we don't know or we don't have any rules to govern them. But these people started using the phones and the gadgets even before us. But because every parent, every teacher is ensuring that use this for this purpose. So even if there will be some people who are going to go outside the laws or outside the rules, there wouldn't be enough as people who are following the rules. So with the introduction of just negative things are going to happen. In classroom, you hear people streaming, as he said, his friends watching football. There will be people who will be watching like beef. Oh, Yapono and Shatawali. Oh, and like Charlie, the beef is going on. Okay, on Instagram, Sister Fia and Fia, like they see themselves. Charlie, the beef is going on. Okay, so if it can be possible, okay, if it can be possible, they can regulate the channels at which students like watch. In Winneba, for instance, when I was there, you couldn't download like from YouTube when you are using like school internet. You couldn't download from YouTube. So if you are on campus and certain rules are made like to govern these things, I think it is going to help. That there are some sites you can't. Sorry, you could download from YouTube, but you couldn't visit pornographic sites. Okay, so if there are rules like that and the IT specialists are able to like block or like do anything whatsoever to control this thing on campus, I think that one is going to help. And if it is possible, I know we are not there yet, but some schools or the schools can introduce a particular laptop that once you come to school, this is the laptop that the school is giving to you. So with this laptop, everything that you need as a student has been programmed on. So you are not allowed to use any other laptops. If you could remember, our days in SHS, we were given Vodafone, Ghana Telecom card. That's when you want to call your mom, you can just go and make a phone call. They found out that like children need to communicate with their parents, and you can't take that thing away from them. So they just gave the card to the students, and we had days that you could make calls, unless there is a special reason for you to take call outside that day. So house one, they had their day for making calls. So when it's that day, you see a long queue, people going to make phone calls and stuff. Okay, which had other negative things as well. Yeah. So if these rules were introduced during then, and it was helping students to be focused on their books, I think we can also try to design a rule to govern these things, like the laptop thing that I said. Or maybe if you bring your laptop to school, there should be a specialist to set a program on it that will control whatever that you watch. I hope you get what I'm saying. So the negative, definitely they are going to exist, but how to go about it is very necessary. My brother Lord made mention of e-commerce, and the SHS is more of preparatory ground for us. So they prepare you to the university. And when you come to university, this is where you are going to use laptops, phones in class and stuff. So if the child gets accustomed to the phones and laptops in class, how to use it, before the child gets to university, he's already familiar with those things. So he wouldn't struggle. So let's say if our brother Naba had been introduced already to phones and laptops here in Ghana, as he is now in fact, do you think he would have struggled as he struggles now? No. Okay, so rules and measures are supposed to be put in place to check all these things. And now we should make them understand that the phones that we have can be used for good good things. You can now make money out of your phone. I'm currently doing my master's in KNUST. So I'm doing I work on my phone. So I talk to people. If you want to register, I register you on my phone, and I'm making money with my phone. So we can make them understand the more than the negative ones. Definitely, negative ones are going to be there. But if you channel their minds on the positive ones, yeah, I think that is going to help. Yeah, so that's my take on that.
Yes, for the money aspect here, with these smart gadgets, we are making money out of it. I personally, like, every blessed day, I need to make money out from my phone. So it's very necessary. And I think we've all agreed to the fact that these gadgets that they will be using, it should be programmed, as Lord said, Nava said, and you also said. Well, we are coming to the end of the program. It's quite in less than, what do you want to say to your country, Ghana? Well, Sunny is not here with us to say something to Nigeria. What do you want to say to Ghana? We start with Nava. And if you have any shout outs to you, add to it.
I would like to encourage the use of electronic gadgets in the process of education. And that, just as everyone has said, we should look at putting some regulations with respect to the use of these things, because it can really get out of hand. And then I'll also urge the students to be able to cooperate with the teachers and the headmasters, especially in high schools, so that it doesn't bring any bad image about them in person. That's one. And then about their institution and about the country as a whole. So we should just know how to use those things, because you might never know, you can't be, or you might not be in Ghana the whole of your life. You have the opportunity to travel outside and study or do business and the like. So as COVID-19 has brought these things, I urge us all to take advantage of it and maximize its usage so as to be productive in the long run. So I greet everyone once more, and then good night to everyone who has followed us. Yeah.
So, Lord, what do you want to say?
So I would say that authorities in our schools, especially our high schools, should think about this thing and try, how to, as we said, the smartphones and laptop. They should consider how we can use them in our in their teaching and learning. Okay, so that it will prepare us as someone said, it will prepare us so that when we get to the university, we can maximize the use of it, and it can be really useful to us. So a lot of things we can learn, and it will prepare us. Even if the person will one day leave the country, wherever he or she will find himself or herself, she can also he or she will not be new to the environment, and he will play his or her role very, very well. So I would say, since yesterday was Mother's Day, I'll say a happy Mother's Day to my mom, Kate Nyamiama. God bless her.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Papa Dino, the last words and shut up.
Yeah, I think I'll be in line with what my brothers have said, that the regulations should be made in schools. And one thing about Ghanaians and Africans is that we find it difficult to change. We always want to be glued to what we already know. I remember when 3G was 3G was moving to 4G. A lot of things came up, Illuminati, 666 and stuff. 4G came and we saw it was good. Now we are moving from 4G to 5G. They started again, Illuminati, 666, rap, a whole lot of things. And so it's the same as the introduction of smartphones and laptops in schools. Definitely, we wouldn't understand the benefits now. They would put things out there, let them know the benefits, like the positive aspects, more than the negative side. I think it's going to help the case, for they are our future, and that is going to help. I would like to say good evening to all viewers, and I would like to thank all of them for watching. And also, I would like to use this media to medium, sorry, to tell everyone that phones that we have, we can make a lot of money out of the phones. So I would like to invite everyone to tell everyone to get registered on Superlife. So you can contact me want to know more about Superlife. Then you can
Businessman.
do business.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0244 024 037 9214. Or you can just search Yawa Samoa on Facebook. You contact me and we talk business. And I'll teach you how to make money on your phone. Thanks once again. And good evening to you all.
Yeah, so if you want to make money, make sure you see our Samoa and you show you how to make money. And thank you very much for accepting to be with us to discuss this issue. We hope that our viewers will listen to it very well, and you encourage you tell our government to encourage our students to start using these smart gadgets. However, our minister, that's our education minister, he should make sure that there are measures put in place that can help, especially with programmed gadgets that they will be using. Thank you very much, and I'm Joaquin Kwenu. We had Hubert with us, Lord, Yawasamwa, and Sunny. Have a good evening, and as Lord said, Happy Mother's Day once again. Bye. This is your talk show.
We are